So lovely. So, hi everyone, nice to see you all again here. And today is 10th of June, 2023. It's a beautiful day. At least here in UK is a beautiful day. And as usual, let's make a quick prayer just to change our vibration and we'll start soon. Father, here we are again, together with the objective to learn a bit more about ourselves, about this mechanism of mediumship, and hoping to prepare ourselves to understand better who we are and to help others. Be with us today and always. So be it. So I will share with you all the book where you stopped last week. Sorry, I was not able to be with you last week. I had to give some attention to my son, but I was missing to be together with you guys. I'm so used to that I was missing be with you. So let me adjust that here so I can see you all there, or at least part of you. Quick reminder, this is not a lecture. We do not pretend that this is a lecture. This is a study. This is a conversation where our goal is to share the little we know, share our experiences, try to solve our questions. And I strongly encourage you all to open your mic, make a question. If you do not understand something, hey, can you say that again? I missed something here. We are very, how can I say that? We are all on the same level and we are all having the same questions, same doubts. So it's a brilliant opportunity when we can express ourselves, and sometimes we are even helping others with our question without even knowing. All right. So I saw the video where you guys were studying last week, and you have stopped on item 164. Today, Charles won't be able to be with us, but I'm sure he's with us with thoughts. Sensitive and impressionable mediums. This label is used to designate individuals capable of sensing the presence of spirit through a vague impression, a sort of general shudder of which they do not know the cause. I'm pretty sure that nobody here ever felt like that before. We never felt like something tingling in our arms, in our shoulders, in our neck. We never felt like a hot temperature or cold temperature coming to us very suddenly. So that's not normal, right? No, it's exactly the opposite. We know that mediumship is organic. We know that mediumship is never the same between one medium to another. Our medium are sensitive people. So the sensation that I make sense from one spirit may be totally different than the sensation that somebody else may feel. Hi, Christine, go on.
Yeah, I was just about to say, well, in Australia, we use the term, I felt like someone just walked over my grave or a grave. And that's the term we used to use if we had this general shudder.
Interesting.
Yeah, just a comment.
And this is in line with what we are saying here, Christine, because to a sort of speak, we all came from the grave, right? We were born and we will return to the grave, and then our spirit will continue the path, come closer to us. And yeah, I like to hear that. Yeah, I never heard that, but it's nice to know that even people that do not believe or do not understand, somehow they are able to perceive something and they describe as they can, as they feel like, according to the creed, according to the experiences. This is another way to see that it doesn't matter where we are in the world. The phenomena exists. We may deny the phenomena, and we call that something magical or something from, I don't know, give you a name you want, right? But we feel something. We may don't know how to explain, but we feel something. The difference is Kardec, he bothered enough to compile together a lot of information to give us at least a place to seek for the information. What is the medium's book? The medium's book is that. He had a massive work to compile together a lot of information regarding those sensations, those mechanisms, those phenomena, and he studied in depth what those phenomena were, right? Reminding us all that when Kardec was approached for the first time to see about the turntables phenomena, he did not believe at first. But as a scientific person that he was willing to find the cause behind that unknown phenomena. And thanks to that, we were able to get this marvelous compendium, right? So we already established that everyone, to a certain extent, is sensitive and feel the impression of the spirits, right? When we talk about feel impression of the spirits, we need to be clear that spirits are no different than ourselves. We are spirits, but we are spirits in flesh and bone for the time being. When the flesh and bone is gone, we remain ourselves without the flesh and bone. Saying that, we have millions of categories of spirits. What I mean, not the categories per se as Kardec told us, but all of us, we have a different perception of something in life. So I may be a good person, I may be a bad person, I may be in between, I may be trying to be a better person, but I'm not there yet. So I cannot quantify the levels we may end up with, right? But when we move from the physical body to the beyond the grave, we carry thus exactly the same characteristics. We do not change only because we left our physical body behind. This variety does not display any well-defined characteristics. However, mediums are necessarily impressionable, and thus impressionability is a quality that may be regarded as more general than special. How many times we saw mediums trying to pretend they were very special, they had powers, they had directly contact with the source of the universe or whatever. Mediums are normal. Mediums are just mediums, as just spirits, are just human beings with this sensibility. And sometimes I even will share with you guys here a thought. I was in the flight yesterday returning home, when someone sent me a message. Oh, I didn't mention anything, but I was in a place and the medium said that he received a message from the cat that has passed away. And he was telling the owner of the cat that the cat was fine. I like to joke. I like to be very simple. I don't pretend to be something that I'm not. And I sent like a emoji, a little cat jumping. And I said, meow, meow, meow. That was my response to him. I was in the plane and the stewardess already said to us to put on the fly mode. So I didn't have time to elaborate, right? So that's what I sent to him. And this morning, after I remember that again, I thought it was funny. And I sent a message. Well, that is what we can see when we find a medium with little or none study. Because a medium that have been granted the access that we do have here through this kind of study on many more, many better studies than ours, by the way, he would not think about that. He would know straight away that, well, there is something that does not make sense, right? So that's why mediums need to study, and forever, because we are always learning something else. Even when we read the book many times, every time we read the same book, we find something different. So wouldn't it be possible to have a communication of a cat spirit through a medium, and the cat telling the person that he's fine, right? But that's a kind of thing we find in the world when mediums or people with those sensibilities think about themselves about something else. So that's why we really recommend people to study. Through this study, we identify ourselves, our potential, and what we should do with our mediumship. It is a rudimentary faculty that is indispensable to the development of all others. It differs from purely physical and nervous impressionability, with which it should not be confused, for there are persons who are not neurological sensitive, but who sense the presence of spirits to varying degrees, while others who are very susceptible cannot perceive them at all. We know that everyone is a medium. When we say that, we're not trying to convince anyone to become a medium, not at all. But in other words, everyone has a sensibility. This sensibility, as is described here by Kardec, may vary to an extent that I cannot even count, right? Some people will only feel the presence of the spirits. Some people will go a little bit beyond, will listen to them, can hear what they say, can talk with them, can see them. So there's a lot of possibilities, right? But one thing that is very important is that it's natural. Mediumship is natural. And we are afraid about this. We don't like to go to the cemetery midnight. We don't like, as we discussed it here many times. But that's natural because we fear what we are not acquainted with yet. But that is what we always vouch for study. Because as soon as we study, as soon as we become acquainted with this kind of information, we become comfortable with. Okay. There's one thing else as well. Like, how many people we have here today? We have 16 people here today. And let's assume we are all in the same room. We all mediums. And there is one spirit that is coming to this room. Not everyone may perceive the spirit in the room. So let me remove 50% of people. So now we have 8 people that can perceive the spirit. We have 8 people that don't feel anything at all. And they all are mediums. For the 8 people that can see something, one will feel like, I think there is a spirit here. The other one, I can feel the presence of a type of energy. I can feel the energy touching my shoulders. I can feel that. I can see. I can listen to the spirit. So the same spirit may be perceived by different mediums in so many different ways. How is that possible? If I'm a medium, why I see and Munir does not see, why Munir can hear the spirit talking, I cannot feel anything. Hi, Christine.
Yeah, I was just about to say, and I've probably mentioned it before, that I was visiting a friend and all of a sudden I just smelt the perfume of her mother that used to wear this perfume, and so did mine. So I knew it was either one of them or both of them because they both passed. And I said, "Oh, our mothers are here." And she said, "How do you know?" I said, "Well, I can smell them. I can smell the red door," which I don't like at all. But yeah, that's what happens. So yeah, that would be a case too, wouldn't it? That you can actually, because you're using one of your senses.
Exactly. I remember when you told that to us. Yeah, that's exactly. And to people that are really not comfortable with that, they will run away. Where this perfume is coming from? Let me get away from here, you know. And but in some places, in some mediumistic meetings, in some treatment meetings, this is very common. We smell ether, we smell flowers, we smell some perfumes, like you said, and they are coming. And to the point that, for example, when Sheila, she come closer, we smell roses. We know it's her. After a period of time working with the spirit, working with them in certain types of activities, we know it's her. We know it's her. So she's in the room. We smell that perfume of roses. Hi, Yasmin.
Hi, everyone. If I may just try to answer the question, well, why are mediums so different things? Leon Denis has an answer about it in his book. I don't remember the book's name, but he says that, I don't know how to say it in English.
C'est en français?
Pardon?
Parlez en français, on va traduire.
Il dit que l'onde vibratoire va atteindre le cerveau du sujet, qui va créer une illusion ou d'effets extérieurs. Et en fait, cette illusion, ces effets extérieurs vont être perçus en fonction de différents types visuels, auditifs ou tactiles, suivant l'état vibratoire du sujet.
Okay. Let me try to translate before I forget. Well, basically, Leon Denis is saying that everything is connected to the vibration, to the perception of the organs of the person that is in the area. So that will go directly to your organs, and your organs will perceive in a way or another. It's something like that, Yasmin. I forgot half of the words you said, but isn't that?
Yeah. The vibrations will influence. Sorry for my bad English and the French accent. I'm really sorry. The vibrations will influence the brain, the subject's brain, and will create visual, auditive or tactile response based on the subject's vibrations as well. So that's the reason why if for all our 16 persons here, if there is one spirit, as you said, one can see it, and other will hear it instead of.
Okay, so I will take your opportunity and I'll go a bit deeper then. Let's speak about perispirit. What is perispirit? Is our spiritual body, right? In line with that, we also need to take into account what we call resonance. Resonance is when two vibrations, they are in the same level and they can interact to a certain extent, right? So every one of us, we are in a different level of vibration. It does not mean that I'm more evolved or more moralized, not at all. It's just physics. My vibration is different than Cherry's vibration. That's different than Lee's vibration. We are all on the same level, but our vibration is a bit different. So one spirit, also the spirit also have this variation of vibration. And how is the phenomena of mediumship? Is when one perispirit come closer to the other one. When it's coming closer to the other one, then this resonation start to talk. And I may be able to really get connected with Liz. I may be able to get partially connected with Cherry, or not connected at all. So what Leon Denis was saying is that, right? But he was saying he's acting on the brain of the person. And that was very important for the time, because that was the way people would perceive. Today, we talk about perispirit. In reality, perispirit from the incarnated and perispirit from the spirits, they get together, and that impression from the spirit to the incarnated spirit is transferred to the brain. And the brain will feel the signals from the ears, from the nose, from the eyes, right? So that is just to give a little bit more information in that part. Hi, Liz, go on.
Just kind of remind everybody about a more pedagogic utility for those type of perceptions, because I believe that as mediumship is an instrument for us to evolve and for us to learn something, it's very individual, isn't it? As you said, like the mechanism why these perceptions are so different. I also understand this is attached to a level of learning that we have to acquire, a level of experience that we have to acquire to be able to learn and evolve in a certain way.
I will jump a little bit on what you said, Liz, if you don't mind. Mediumship has only one purpose: perform charity to help others. This is the purpose. The consequence is that when we embrace that venue, we help ourselves. This is the consequence. How do we help ourselves? Learning, getting better people. When I help someone, the energy that comes in my way also help me out. But the purpose of mediumship, a serious mediumship, is to help others, to practice charity. Never, ever related to anything in return, especially money. That's one of the main differences between Spiritism and other mediumistic practice around the world. I'm not complaining about them. It's up to them. But here, we do not make that connection. And as we move along, when we practice, we get more comfortable. Mediumship is not, we don't learn mediumship through the book. Many people believe they do, but we do not learn mediumship in the book. The book is there to allow us to identify what is going on. How can I use? How is safe? Which is the path I should take? But as ever, in our professional lives, I'm an engineer. I just finished the uni. I know a lot of books, a lot of things in the book. When you go to the real world, when you come to a company, when you find your first job, you realize that what you have learned on the uni is not helping you much, maybe 5% of what you're doing. And how do you grow in that company? Through the exposure, through the practice. And then through the exposure, to the practice, you start to make connections between what you heard on the uni and what you can see in front of you. Mediumship is exactly the same. We study, we get acquainted with a lot of information, but if you feel like that is enough, I can guarantee you that's not enough. Mediumship is organic. To control this phenomena within yourself, you need to get acquainted with the phenomena, you need to practice, and only through the practice you are able to control better the phenomena. All right, so we have to, oh, sorry, I see a hand. Hi, Osali, how are you doing?
Hi, good morning, and I'm so sorry I had come a little bit later, but this is nothing very interesting because Guilherme, this is a kind of a signal of the medium is medium and can feel something. I think because it's not the same way always. Not for me. In the beginning in São Paulo, I remember. Sorry, not São Paulo. In Victoria, I lived in Victoria though. When I will moved to Sweden, so I lived 2 years in Victoria. There, I was in the spirit meeting, and I remember first sign I feel so much here back on me. Something irresistible. I did so. So I could not breathe because it's not mine. It's not mine. Not I would do this, but it was then I learned to control this one. So and this one is in the beginning, and the first time I remember I was there up in the roof, and I feel so I was a big one, and there's some like a balloon in the roof, and I saw everybody there. Thank you. So and back. So and then I was my debut in the some medium, like medium. But that's first one. No, that not anymore. And I feel so like when one spirit would like to communicate and say something, say something. I feel something like I fear butterfly. So I feel like something that move the hair, move. And I would like to say this because I know when you said everybody's medium, but there's a different way when you feel you feel and one spirit, and then when happens psychophony, when it happens, so I can feel I know what the spirits think. I can't explain, but some I know, and I know too nature of the spirit is a because one spirit is a very good spirit. His feeling is very very nice. I feel calm. I feel like it's wonderful. And smell can come smell of a perfume, flower perfume, not only roses, so the perfume. Sometimes here in my kitchen, so there's maybe I am a medium smell mediums. I can feeling smell. I would like to talk only this because only to everybody feel maybe the same, but for the same is another maybe for another way, but it's like similar.
All right.
So thank you.
Okay. Hi, Munir.
Guilherme, good morning, everyone. Guilherme, when you mentioned that, the purpose of mediumship is to do charity, I thought it was important to highlight certain aspects of mediumship to make it very clear and explain why it is charity. I mean, every faculty that we have, we may be very intelligent, we may grasp things very easily. We can use that to our benefit in the material world. But when dealing with this organic faculty, it is an organic faculty. The organic predisposition will allow us to get into, open contact with the spirit world. The difference from all other faculties that we may have is mediumship. We are dealing with a different dimension, with a different reality. And in this reality, our material values are nothing. You can't exchange gold, you can't exchange any material element to interact with the spiritual world. And the moral values are the currency that we have in the spiritual world. That's why charity is so important when we use a mediumship with that purpose, because it is, a safeguard. It's like, playing with electricity. If you use a battery to do some experiments, that's fine. You can do whatever you want. But if you are dealing with a high voltage equipment, you have to be extra careful. Otherwise, you may die just playing with high voltage equipment. So, mediumship is like that. You need to prepare, you need to know the purpose, how to use it. And in the spiritual world, this faculty, dealing with the spiritual world, we have to deal in their currency, not in our currency, in our material values, but in good values, moral standards, and charity.
Munir, I love what you said. And I just want to say something that came to my mind when you were talking about that. Anything produced through a mediumship phenomena does not belong to the medium. A medium is just a water pipe. The water comes from one end, the water leaves from the other end. So like when we see a lot of books, a lot of lectures and things like that coming from the spiritual world, is not the medium. It does not belong to us. We are just the go-between, if I can say like that. We receive the information, we pass the information. I'm not criticizing those who write books and anything else. That's not what I'm doing here. But if you do that to make money, then it's on you. The information is there to be passed to people. And what a great way to pass information. Books, internet, you name it. But the medium should not receive any return other than feel happy to be serving, to perform the charity, to help others. Because when something that came to my mind, Munir, is that, I said charity. There's so many ways to do charity, isn't it? And mediumship is the one that, as you rightly said, we can get closer to the spiritual world, help the other side too. So yeah, it's very, very nice. Am I responsible for what the medium will do? No. I'm responsible to pass the best information available as possible. And everyone is responsible for their own actions. But that's why here we always pass the information based on something that's safe. That's Kardec's work. From there, the medium may use as they feel like. We can only give advice. Yeah. Thank you, Munir. I like what you said. You brought some different line of thoughts, and very nice. This faculty develops with habit and can attain such subtly, some words are very difficult for me, subtly or whatever, that through the sensation received, the individual possessing it can recognize not only the good or evil nature of a nearby spirit, but also its individuality, as a blind person recognizes the approach of this or that individual by a sort of sensation. Let me do a comment here. Do we always know if the spirit around us is good or bad? And we will have people jumping to say, yes, I can feel the energy. I recognize the spirit. Then I have a question for you. How we have so many mediums under an obsession process if the medium can recognize the energy? Why he could not recognize the energy of those spirits that are in this obsession process? We cannot always recognize the energy of the spirits.
Can you repeat? Excuse me. Can you repeat what you say, Nis? Now, it's
The-
very important.
The medium cannot always recognize the energy of the spirit. That's why so many mediums fell under obsession processes. So that theory that we all recognize the spirit around me, yes, we may recognize from time to time. But if the spirit has ability, knowledge to manipulate the energy, we may not recognize. We may feel that the spirit around me is Jesus, is God himself, or someone with a nice name in the spiritist environment. And he is not. That's why we say so many messages with nice signatures from nice spirits on the end. And when we read the message, we recognize cannot be. The content of the message does not match the information. But the medium himself, he believes, I am channeling, choose a name you want. I'll choose one name here. I'm channeling Jesus. Let's be honest with ourselves. Because we all like to feel that we are important. We all would like to feel better in the picture. I am the medium of Bezerra de Menezes. I am the next Chico Xavier. I'm the next Divaldo Franco. We all have that pride within ourselves. Can we recognize the energy of the spirits? Yes, we can. But we may fall. We may fall. Sometimes we believe we know more than we really do. And that's why we see so many cases of mediumship falling into an obsession case. And when the medium falls under the obsession, he does not accept any help. He believes he's right and everyone else is wrong. He believes the spirit who is there obsessing him is the best spirit on the world. And the medium is not able to say that he is wrong because he don't see himself as wrong. He believes he's right. So that's it. So let's move on a little bit. In relation to spirits, this type of medium is a true sensitive. Every medium is a sensitive. I'm going even further. Every human being is sensitive with different degrees of sensibility. A good spirit always produces a soft, pleasant impression. And an evil one, on the other hand, produces a painful, anxious, and unpleasant impression. It seems to bring an odor of impurity. I agree with that. If you are okay, if you are a medium that possess all your controls, that you're always studying, always practicing charity, that you have strong ties with good spirits, yes. But sometimes we start to feel proud about ourselves. I have this mediumship, I have this mediumship. I'm the best medium of the group, I'm the best medium of my town, I'm the best medium of the Spiritist movement. And then we fall. And we're still thinking that all spirits around us, or me, is the good one, and is no longer a good one. And I'm not able to perceive that. Hi, Osoli, I see your hand.
When you told about people or medium, they say, oh, Jesus or Socrates or Platinum. So they don't high spirits, and Jesus so high there to our hearts, and so almost impossible, because fluid of Jesus and her heart is he is so heavy, and so the Jesus come not come on Savior to a medium, and come into the medium, and no, but people says that because they don't know about maybe of obsession, of fascination, then they don't know, or they know but they lie. They would like it's not a medium, it's something another, and I think because it is very serious in here. It's serious here. It's serious all over the world. The problem of mediums, they could be a very good medium, but they maybe would like attention or money. We don't know, and we hope that this is finished in the world. And the Munir said something wonderful, because charity is the way, is the is the way to we can, if we want, if we really want to be a medium. I think everybody can have a problem in mediumship, because we live here in the earth. But if I discover, oh yeah, it was one obsession, one, so be for him, be for me, and charity, and continue with charity, and continue charity in the heart too, because so many people, they don't have anything, they need something, a word, a good word, one smiling, or a sandwich. I do this. I come a sandwich to my people, and I know, and this is because it helps us. They help us, and they show that we believe in good. We believe in Jesus. We believe in the good spirits that protect us. So, and we must be true for obsession, for another spirits. We have been exactly the same, maybe in another incarnation, the last incarnation. So then, I think so.
Hi, Munir. Thank you, Soli.
Oh, hi, Guilherme. No, I just want to call the attention to something that is very common in Kardec's works. And here again, this last paragraph, Kardec is talking about good spirits and evil spirits. These are basically the extremes within the range of spirits that communicate through mediums. And it's one end and the other end, the good spirits, but most of the spirits that come, they are neither too evil or not too good. They are in between. And if they are similar to us, we perhaps won't have these great impression, because they are more or less, they vibrate more or less like we do. So we will only perceive this contrast if the spirit is too far high above us or too far below us in moral standards. And Kardec is talking about the two extremes. And as I said, we normally receive, because it's a suffering spirit, is not necessarily an evil spirit, but it's also not a good spirit. No.
Very nice. Very nice. So many different degrees, isn't it?
Yeah.
Different degrees. Let me give an example that I like to give when I'm studying. let's think that we are a computer. Our brain is the CPU, all right? Our computer is the power source of our computer must be connected to 110 volts. But I have two power sockets, one beside another, 110, 220. If I get my computer that is made for 110 volts and connect on 220, what is going to happen to my computer? I will fry my computer. I am able to get connected to spirits to a level. That's the 110. If I try to connect with the higher voltage spirits, more evolved spirits like Jesus that we were talking here, my CPU will fry. I'm too far away from that. My CPU will fry. And let's talk about Jesus, but I don't need to go that far. We may have something closer to us, and due to the difference of vibration, I am not able to synchronize either. But I'm able to synchronize with the spirits that can resonate with myself. And if this particular spirit gives us a nice name, we need to be very careful. What time do we still have time to move on to the next one? So we are jumping into hearing mediums. Before we start to talk about hearing mediums, if we take someone listening to voices, to a doctor, to a GP, for example, what the GP will do?
Excuse me, what is a GP?
General practitioner is a medical, is a doctor. En France, c'est le médecin de famille, par exemple. He will indicate some specialists. Specialists that are more used to the aspects of the mind, psychology, shrinks, you name it, right? Is that right? Yes, it's right. But why I'm saying that to start this topic, how can I'm not a doctor, I'm not a shrink, I'm nothing. How can I identify that what, I'll pick Munir as my guest, as what Munir is listening is really a mediumship phenomena, or Munir started having some psychological problems? How can I identify that? I'm just throwing that question on you. And as we move along, we will be finding more information. We'll be discussing more about the subject. Because
I can say one thing is just whether he's coping in his life is a simple answer for that. You know, if Munir is holding down his job and everything's going well, then that's a good indication that you know that it's not psychiatric problem.
well, hi Saul, nice to have you here. And
I disagree.
I don't think I can use that as a measurement, because we have so many cases of people with psychological problems maintaining their normal lives until they burst. And when I mean they burst, I mean kill someone or making a terrorist attack or something, that I'm not sure if I can validate your thought.
Could I just add something there, Guilherme, as well? When we are experiencing mediumship and we don't have any knowledge, no one around us, everyone around us believe in something different or nothing at all, it is really frightening, and the level of stress that you may have is so great, and you just don't know whether you are coming or going. It's just a normal reaction of life and as humans. So it is very complex, that picture.
Let me do a bit of, let me bring that to the practical side. If someone comes to me, to the Spirit Center, saying that I can hear voices, what should I do with that? My initial answer is, I don't know. But if you want, we can try to find together where those voices are coming from. My first question will be, have you been to a doctor? Have you spoken to your GP or your practitioner? Because we have to be responsible as well. What if, I don't know Munir. Munir came to our Spirit Center. What if Munir has nothing about mediumship and he's just having voices in his head that is a result of a chemical reaction in the brain? I don't know. That's not my scope. I have no information to evaluate that at all. So to really find what it is, we need time. We need to observe. We need to study the person. And I always recommend the person to also seek medical assistance if it's something that's not too obvious, right? For example, when we have treatment sessions, when we call treatment, is basically a healing session, but in other countries we call other names. And sometimes before you go to that healing session, you have one-to-one discussion with a medium. Normally is a medium, to see how you feel, like what are you feeling, how you're progressing or not with those situations. And sometimes, as we do have the ability to have a medium, the spirits come together and say, well, yeah, he's medium. He needs to study, he needs to start to practice. But sometimes you don't have that condition. Sometimes you don't have that support. So we need to be very careful to say to someone that he's an ostensive medium. We all are. But to say to someone that he's an ostensive medium, and a human being with a level of sensitivity that is able to see, to hear, to talk, we need to be very careful to say. And we also have to be very careful to say that he is not. Right? So we need to work together with the professional people to identify what is really the case. And sometimes it's not easy. If we do work with the spirits, if we do have the ability, quite often we need to ask them, is my perception correct? Is this person really a medium to develop mediumship or something? But sometimes we don't have that possibility. All right. Hi, Osoli. Osoli, your mic is closed.
Now, I think it's very, very important what you said, because people, we don't, maybe it's a physician, is a doctor, say, you have a problem, mental problem, because I studied analysis to mental storming and problem. We studied this. This is the first year now, 4 years now, and we have a 1 year two in psychology, and it's a very, very difficult sometimes to know the line between reality and no reality. And these people, maybe they have a problem, schizophrenia or paranoid something. This is a mental problem. But have many people, they can be or have or are schizophrenic, but they are medium too. And they have a difference. They between a medium and we say a normal medium. Only this difference, but they are medium too, both of them. And many times in the center, spirit center here in Sweden too, they go to there and they not works, but they receive, they learn, and they study the Evangelium home to let's say in English, Evangelium.
Gospel in the home.
How exact? Thank you. And they have a healing. They always in the healing, and it be very, very good for them. They don't people. Some they don't have no mental problem. It's very good because they sometimes they can works some medium.
Let me,
But
let me-
they don't have a mental problem. Yes, they must send it to the doctor, but not to say at the same time. It's a very, very delicate question.
let me just jump here as we have only 2 minutes to finish as well.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. There's one thing. Sometimes I used to work with a psychiatric institution. Our Spirit Center was connected to a psychiatric institution for quite a good number of years. They closed last year, but our mediumship meetings were inside the psychiatric institution, to give you an idea. And sometimes the person arrives in the psychiatric institution, the professional identifies like a mental problem. As such, he starts to prescribe the drugs, and they are not pleasant, those drugs. If this person receives the support, if have an opportunity to be identified as a medium and receive the right support on the beginning, we are able to help. After a period of time of the person taking the medications and being in the non-friendly environment, because those institutions, they are not friendly at all. Very unlikely we are able to help. Very unlikely. Because then the problem, there was just mediumship, becomes organic. The cells are damaged, the neurons are damaged, and then we are not able to do anything anymore. As a result of what I said so far, we need to walk hand to hand with the professionals who knows how to handle mental problems. And we also need to walk hand to hand with our benefactors who can assist us to telling us which is the best line of assistance we can give to the person. So it is our time, 11:30. So Munir, as I picked you today as my guinea pig for
Okay.
mental problems, can you do a final prayer, please?
Yeah, sure. Let's close our eyes, join our thoughts, our hearts, in gratitude for this opportunity to once again get together, to study, to discuss about the realities of the spiritual world and the communication, so that we can grow morally and do better our part in this exchange of information that will take humanity to a higher level. We are so grateful for this opportunity that so few have. And we ask for assistance to put in practice the good teachings that we receive. So be it.
So good. So now I'll be able to see who is in the room, because after we have a lot of people today. Very nice. Well, I would like to thank you all to be here with us, and I hope you have enjoyed. And I can complain a little bit too. Only a few people made questions. I need to push you guys to make more questions or comments. All right. So, but once again, many thanks for your presence here, and I wish you all a wonderful weekend. And looking forward to see you guys in a week's time.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bless you.